Yo, yo, yo. Santa, how you doing? Joel, hello. Martin, Poodlestein, Jamie with the first. How you guys doing? Man, I don't know how I'm running right now. I had to take Madu to the vet just to, dental check, and it was stressing me the night before. So I woke up at 5 this morning, and it's now 7 p.m. I have not slept yet. That's why we're doing a short stream. We're gonna look at your guys' stuff, and then I'm just gonna go like black out on a couch, just Superman straight into the. But I was like, yo, I love doing our stream critique, so I needed to do this. It doesn't feel like fumes yet, but I can anticipate that'll get there. Anik, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I came home, I took Madu for a walk, dropped Maddie off at yoga, walked back, slammed 2 hamburger patties into my face, had a drink of water, filled the water bottle up, and then came in here and turned the stream on. Any post you saw me doing in Discord was happening while I was doing all of that. Yo, dude, it's Friday for you. Congratulations. That's exciting. Madu, don't do that. Don't mess your bed up. Okay. Let's make sure I everything is good to go here. And I'll just click away on some stuff. Boop boop boop. Bammo, whammo, bammo. Okay, we got a glow up image as well, so let's check it out. Okay, I'm gonna just lower the music down here. Hey, Rex, thank you for the resub. 4 months. Rex, I can't remember your name on Discord. Maybe it is Rex, but Rex Tola. Sir Rex Tola. But are you going to the meetup? There's so many people now where I'm like, yo, I'm gonna meet this person in real life. This is sick. I'm excited. Hell yeah. Swath, hello. Okay. Time to I'm gonna change the beat up for myself. All right. Get the high energy going here. You're in Spain? Yo. Maybe we need to do a meetup in Spain. Okay, let's check out the before image from Martin here. Well, there we go. Look at that. So, I don't know if you guys remember we were critiquing this a while back. I don't know how long it's actually been. But there's been some improvements. So let's switch to that one. Let me just frame up here. Get into my position. Look at that. Man, this is It's been 84 years. Man, I need to get some meme board action going on here. Let's paste this into here. Yeah, cool. Wow, it's really high res. So that's the old one, or the previous version, I should say. And then we've got the new one. Man, that is something. That is looking good. Okay, so what I want to do is just kind of look at this and do some comparisons. So the positioning of, wow, you literally did some of the positioning I suggested, and you've gotten some of the props much further along now. Also, surfaces look like they're being defined much more than before. You've got your walls, the detail on the ceiling, much nicer. I still feel really weird about double pipe action into a single pipe. Like, when does that happen? Why does that happen? Is there other things? That must be water, right? Their regular blinds have always been a good move. The change of the lighting is also a great improvement. The rug looks really good. We're not even viewing this at like full resolution. Little trick for you. If you press Control 0, you'll go to 50% roughly zoom. And if you press Control 1, you'll go to 100% zoom. So, I mean, it's definitely sharper as well. Okay, so what I'm really digging now is you've got a lot of surface information that the lighting can play off of. This feels... So this sounds weird, but the chipping of the paint on the wood here, I think if that was toned down on the bottom half, I think it would make much more visual sense. You know, just like you're always pulling stuff off of the top, the edge just gets kind of worn. Miro, what's up? How you doing? And just like it could still be there, but just a little less. I think that would go a long ways. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm still not sold on the pipes, but I am very aware that something needs to be happening on the walls, right? Or else the walls start to feel strange. I would try and get a frame on this, just because it'll ground things much more. And just looking at, let's see here. So this monitor is huge. This is like a CRT, right? That's a big old CRT. Dude, look at this chill guy. He's like, hell yeah. Look at that. When I look at his hand and then I see this size, like, oh my god. Well, Madu is doing well, as you can tell. I'm doing good, Miro. Jesus. I heard something. Stay here, I'll defend. So scale, right? Side of the hand, thickness of the window seal. This is, as far as I know, this is Unreal. Yeah. I don't know if this is a second edge of a wall, or if this is just a seam. Something to look at. Yeah, I think at some point, like you've got this. So what we have is we have macro detail, which is the wall, right? Getting the infrastructure in. Then we've got like medium detail, which is somewhere around here. Man, what's up, Shokri? How you doing? Medium details are like this, the window blinds, maybe the railing here, or the bottom side of the window. But then you've got this like micro detail here. Now, getting that type of micro stuff into these areas is going to be kind of what takes it, you know. Like, you've got it going on here, and you want to make sure that you don't do it too much. But it is something that's like a nice touch to help, like, transition everything into the next piece. So, like, for example, think about it like this. Right now, you've got this and this, right? Here, you've got this and this. there's a line here, right? Because of the shadow. So think about it in shapes, like macro shapes for how you're propping. And then when you can add things that break that, all of a sudden you get more complexity for free. As long as it's not too many things, right? It's the glue, yes, the glue between all of your propping helps kind of connect everything. But there's going to be the pass where you do all the decal work and just making sure everything feels grounded. This feels really nice. I think it's a good idea that it's quite level. I think if there was too many of those pulled out, maybe it would just look like too busy. And I mean, a majority of the busyness is here. And that's totally okay. We get busy here. We get a little busyness here. And medium busyness here. You're going to want to keep it pretty subtle, I think, elsewhere. So it's more about like connecting everything, transitioning these busy areas into the clean environment, and you're good. The last thing I think I would say is, let's just erase this. The last thing I would say, so we bring this up. So right now you've got this kind of, I'm just going to blast the colors real quick just to see what's going on. Okay, so we got like greens and yeah, I thought there was a much more greenish tone. Also, by the way, there's some like normal stuff going on here. Maybe the normal on this face is not flat, so you're getting some like specular lobes that are kind of warping around an edge. Might be something to look at. I think I saw it over here too. Yeah, over here. But just something to think about. Now, what I wanted to highlight was if you shift the color to like something else, right? Just to play with. Experiment with that. You don't have to do it in the lighting. Just, do it in the... So we keep the focus on the center here. But you can see on the sides, getting something in the peripheral could be really nice. So then you could like, I don't know, we could... How am I doing this? Hang on here. Oh, right. We need a little bit of color in there, or value in there, in order to move this around. But you can move that range around and really like, see, you can push the purples in over here. And you can control like what's happening on the outside. Yo, Falter, what's up? But yeah, I think we've given you a lot of stuff to go off of. Maybe you could put something here, a calendar. Give us a time period. What's happening here? Are these CRT screens in the like 2040? Are we in the future, but everything's reverted back? Is he literally pumping sine waves out the window, or is he measuring how bad the air is outside? Those types of, You've got a clock here. That's cool. It's not drawing much attention, which I think is good. It does need to feel a little bit more grounded, so maybe an ambient occlusion pass is just missing. The chair also feels maybe a little bit pop in here. Like there's a lot of information happening here. Maybe like lowering the contrast inside of the texture. Maybe it's Din's stream setup. Maybe it's time I post another picture of my setup. It hasn't changed much. But cool. This is really sick. It's an air quality checker. Yeah, something here could be maybe like a half-eaten like takeout order that has like a perfect seam around it. It's still styrofoam and stuff, but when it's closed, it's like perfectly sealed because it's toxic outside. But really cool. Really, really cool. Let's take a look at the next one. This one is looking pretty sick as well, dude. Let's copy this. So I assume you're using Lumen, and you've got Lumen reflections going on here. Man, I can feel myself talking loud. I'm like screaming. I'm so glad that I started the stream earlier because I'm not gonna sound like this in about an hour. This definitely looks like some Star Wars fan art. So right now, I would say compositionally quite strong. There's really cool like information going on. You said in here early blockout stage on this one. I'd love to hear if you have any ideas for improving the composition. I'll also be diving into texturing for the vines and trees. So if you have any pointers for working with non-square tileables, that would be awesome. So Substance Painter. Yeah, the mood here is So Substance Painter has got some really nice like projection tech or tools, if you want to say it like that, where you can grab like the edges of the texture and warp and skew it to project along the curvature of an object. I don't know if you can use splines for that, the new spline tech that's in there as well. You might be able to get it to project a texture along a spline, and then maybe you could really map the flow there. And then you can maybe paint a mask to remove where you don't want to see it. That could be one way of doing it. It sounds a little tedious that way, but the projection method I'm talking about is how they're mapping textures on tree trunks now, a lot of times through Substance Painter. So it's just a way of projection. So maybe if you YouTube like Substance Painter texturing a tree, you'll really see what I'm talking about. It's really cool. I actually think it's a really, really cool way of doing it. It's non-destructive as well. I think you can go back and adjust accordingly later. But you're essentially controlling the projection and then have the warp tools of Photoshop in it. So compositionally, this is pretty strong. Right now, I would say you're like the eye level is feeling like it's somewhere around here, right? And if that's the case, I mean that works pretty well with the framing of the opening there. If we go and we click this, just looking at your compositional stuffs, you're sitting on thirds pretty nicely. That's cool. Even the back information is sitting on a third, which is really, really nice. So we take this horizon line, and I would be curious to see what it would look like if you move your camera up and down, just to see how it changes your composition. Camera being really low, then this becomes like really, really prominent. Oh God. Right? Starts to become this thing that's on a hill, and that's maybe not what you want. A lot of the shots you see in the films, the camera's quite high up to really shrink the... Madu, bro. Hey. Hey. Come here. What are you doing? Yeah, they usually have the camera quite high and pretty far back. That way you feel like the space is like... The house is small and everything is just kind of micro in this just giant like bog or swamp or whatever. And yeah, so something to think about. When I see the vines here, I see you, Houdini. I see you. So if we think about shape language wise, like maybe we just do like we'll just do a blur on here. What you're seeing is this, right? Actually, even better. Let's do it like this. Let's see how this works. So I'm gonna go to plugins. No, where are we at here? Filters. Neural filters. I'm just gonna go to depth blur, and I'm gonna just tell it to give me the output. There we go. Okay, so look at it like this. This is a good way to like hack it really fast now. So what you're seeing, and of course ignore the reflection, but what you're seeing is a volume here, right? And that volume continues pretty far in. Same over here. And then you have your backdrop, and then like your foreground, your midground, and your background. So foreground's here, and then your midground and your background. And this is, I guess this would be background as well. So let's look at that. Getting even more focus on this tree. I mean, I guess you could like, I think I like that there's so much attention on this tree, even though this is drawing your eye. So compositionally, very good. Maybe what we need to be doing is looking at your roots here. Where are we at here? All of your roots, and just bringing them further out into the water and spacing them out more. Let the water come in a little bit further. So that way there's a lot of, there's a lot of this going on. Getting that water in there. Cuz overall this is not, hang on here. Just going to make it all black and then bring it back to, like, you can color match it in. Come on. No, I can't. Getting those to just read is already pretty, like, it feels like a puddle and not so much like a large volume or a body of water, right? So getting your roots to kind of mix the water with the roots more, and giving it space so that you can read between all the roots and stuff, I think would do a lot. The next thing is maybe this back tree needs to go back just a little bit further. Like, it's weird how dark this is, but I don't know. It's like cinematography lighting right now. Let me see if this is going to work. Nope. Hang on here. Not bad. Okay, so let's take that. We'll just paste it here. And what is it? We'll just, how am I going to do this? Like, Photoshop, come on. You got this. Okay, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use this as the mask for this. Put this on top. And then I'm going to push it down. And then maybe, like, with the mask, erase. So what we're trying to do is get a little bit more separation while keeping it forward. The other thing I would say about this tree is it feels like a hand doing this. It might be more valuable to get them to fan out a little bit more instead of gripping like that. Let's see if this is, yeah. So we can move this up and down. No. Oh, I see what I did. No. Let's undo that. So what you would want to do is keep the opacity high, group it. So that way you can keep this mask, right? Then we go to this one. Then we put a mask on this, and then we erase here. And do the opacity controls here. That way I can unlock this and then move this around. So if I want to lower it, so you can move the fog plane around. Yeah, so something to think about. Just giving you that power of separation. Make sure you don't see the tops of the trees. But I know it's just a blockout. This is already advanced past blockout, in my opinion. You are not in blockout stage anymore. You are texturing now. So before you go any further, make these adjustments to lock in your composition and figure out all the angles you want to hit. And then you can start texturing. If you have any props that are missing from here that you know you want to add them now. And then you can be done with your blockout. So blockout complete, props propped, even in blockout form, composition, camera frames locked in, and then produce the content. Really cool though. It's coming along nicely. And don't forget, you can you have a 1 hour call with me because you're in the dojo. This will be a very strong scene. Yes, no doubt. I feel like maybe this is a little close. Like maybe it could move a little bit more to the left. I'm like art directing now. Move the toilet that way. This is gonna be sick though, for sure. Okay, Nick. Nick, you are next, sir. Oh, Kennedy, I'm so excited that you posted. Okay, let's jump in here. So, Nick, very very early block out with a temple in the mountains in the with a temple in the mountains design. This is inspired a bit from Jedi Fallen Order, so I'll be sticking with rock materials and looking for feedback and composition on any pitfalls I might not be seeing this early on. Okay, so looking at this layout, let's look at the other image as well. So to me, these are two different scenes. I mean, you can have the lead up where the camera moves through here. Yes, Paro, definitely. Just go to Discord there, and yeah. So looking at this, you pass through here, and then you get your reveal. So you're working with the idea that the camera is going to pass through here, right? I think so. I say this for everyone that's working on blockouts. Of course, Paro, no problem. Looking at blockouts at this stage, you're now working on composition and you're adding blockouts based on what you need, right? I would get a basic material setup that you can swap colors and like roughness on. And if there's any metallic elements in there, to just get some metalness on them. So with that said, getting like, I want to know what color this is, right? Because my brain's like, okay, is that going to be grass? These are stone. Is this stone? Is this a tree? Or is this a pillar? Is this rock? You know, understanding those just at like a base color value will be so powerful when it comes to locking in your composition and understanding what scene you're building, because you'll start to see how high the contrast is between rock and dirt or grass. And like I can tell already, you're gonna need smaller transitional props, right? Little tiny things. And with the size of the character, you're definitely gonna need something there. How are these constructed? What's the plan here? Is this? I guess these are all stone. Is this sand here? Is it more of like a Zen garden type of situation? Just getting colors in there will do like magic. Dude, Zach knows it. Making yourself a master material PBR blockout master material again is self care. Yeah, that'll go long way. Honestly, I don't have too much to say on this. I can see these open windows very like what is that? Angkor Wat style like spinning pillar vibes. They're very square right now. I would look at like what you can do to make those windows look less primitive. I know it's a blockout, right? But think about that even in the blockout shape, because that window will tell you so much about how lighting is going to cast, what the walls look like. There's an opening here. If you're never going to look up, I would suggest just focusing on the shape of the shape of this light spot and what that's going to look like with like roots or vines, or if it's just going to be really rocky, and then it's a matter of breaking up that edge to be a lot more rocky. And yeah, think about this path being traveled with the stones being so large. I think it would be really interesting to see the core of it kind of dipped from like hundreds of years of people walking back and forth, you know? Really nice. All right, Kennedy. Yo, look at this. Did you already adjust this? Very nervous to join in. Don't worry about it. You got this. I believe in you. Are these pieces work from Critiques channel? No, these are in a channel called Stream-Critiques. It's right above the Critiques channel. So if you want to try and jump in, we've got about, I don't know, 40-ish minutes, 45 minutes. you're welcome to join us. So you did mess with the post-processing and exposure. I'm assuming exposure is what you're saying there. So very nervous to join. Don't worry about it. You may as well. This is the best way to get feedback is to put yourself out there, you know. Been working on this for a few weeks as an assignment and looking for any feedback when it comes to textures and lighting. Mostly, maybe you could use extra props. So right now, I would say let's break this down. It's really high res, so I need to let my RAM eat it up. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just close these. Okay, so when we take a look here, we've got, first I'm gonna look at your geometry and propping. So what we'll do is we'll make this a smart object. And then what is it? We'll just, we'll just crush the saturation so we can just look at this image. And then above it, I'm using Blender hotkeys in Photoshop. What is happening to me? So we'll look at some stuff here. So we've got pillars, right? We've got a vase. Maybe I should use a different color. We've got a vase. We've got, I have to be careful here. We're getting into phallic territory. These two smaller ones. And then I think you've got a different one over there. Right? Is this like an incense podium thingy? Could be wrong. Anyways, okay, so we've got that amount of pots, right? And they've all got their set heights, and then you've got your pillars. Architecture aside, I think the thing that's we've got this guy too. Look at this one here. And then I guess we'll just do this. So we've got all of these going on. I think adding a little bit of chaos to a otherwise quite pristine scene will do wonders for your work. So if we turn these off real quick here, so you can see you've got these two pots here. Doing anything back here to break this shape is gonna be great. So let's see here. So if you had this shape, this is kind of like what we were talking about in the first post. If the one on the side here was just a little bit taller, or there was something in it, right? If there's something in it that sticks out, that does it as well. Maybe you add a smaller pot here to the side, and it's just, you see how it kind of gives you this character to your how stuff is. I'm assuming that's incense, but I could be wrong. You said yep, but I'm going to assume that's what you're yepping to. Getting anything around here could be nice, depending on how organized it's supposed to be, That could be cool. This right now, okay, I'll ignore that for now. We're just looking at propping. Cuz like back here, this is going to be good too, right? Get something here, some stuff here. Just lots of character to really fill the space with things. It sounds like a lot. You can always pull this stuff back. And trim sheets for vases are really powerful. Definitely look into that. You basically would do a detail normal for like the surface of like how it feels texturally, and then you have a trim sheet that does like a pattern around it that really like kind of brings it all together. And then next you've got your pillars and then your archways. Watch out for these. You've got these. I'm gonna use the crazy color. So watch out for these. I'm just gonna highlight everywhere that we see them. So you got these things what we should call laser lines. You want to watch out for laser lines because they imply simple geometry. You break it a little bit here with the pillars, so that's good. You do that a little bit up here as well. But keep that in mind as you keep pushing. Trim sheets are golden for anything that's around. It's true. It's true. Like up here, you see how you've got this point that meets here. Just getting that kind of like just a bevel in there. Maybe you can take like a few cuts here and make one of the bevels a little wider, so you can either imply a chip or a slight deformation in the way that the edge is kind of refined. This edge feels like it might be a little thin. I think thickening that up might give you a little bit more weight above. I know there's already quite a bit up there, so something that might not be a good idea. Just try it out and see how that goes. With your, it looks like you're using trim sheets here, and where they meet, just make sure that they meet where the colors line up, because it's like you got a green red and a green red, or a red green. Just these smaller details I'm noticing. There's a big blank spot here, and the back wall here is quite blank. I feel like you would see like a big old mural back here that's like really faded, like really subtle, but like basically all of this type of information just kind of throughout the wall and just kind of dusted, you know? This whole project is my first intro to trim sheets. Oh, that's perfect. Otherwise, I would say that's largely it for the, I mean, maybe there could be a little bit more of an extravagant setup for like maybe 2 or 3 of these crossing over cloths. Yeah, dude, look at AC Origins, for example. It's really good for looking at that stuff. The color of this is very one color. It may still be block out, and maybe you're planning to do a trim sheet soon. Get it somewhere in the rough value that you're thinking it's going to be. A rough value, rough saturation. Excuse me. Rough value, rough saturation. Just because the way that those colors affect the color and roughness, how that affects your lighting is huge. So if we're telling you like, oh, it's too bright and it's blah, blah, you know, it might be too bright because the material might be really bright. So it's just bouncing like crazy. So keep that in mind. Also, same story with like darker materials. Like when how would I say that? If you were to give me a render that's just like color only, eyedropping these, you would see like the range at which you're sitting at. Usually I try and stay below. So if we just think about white and black, if we're just looking at value, try not to go above 245 or 243, and try not to go below 50. That's a good rule. But yeah, and then what else? I love the foliage up here. I would say turn it up like 100% more. Like turn it up to 200%. Just get it like nice and filled in there, you know? Because the benefit is you get these really nice shadows. It's like this is a super nice payoff here. And getting more of that organic growth and stuff coming in from above gives you cool shadows. It also it allows you to not have to worry about the sky as much. I highlighted this area. I'm thinking maybe something needs to be here. I don't know. Something. Maybe all the way down. That seems like something like that. I don't know. Look at design. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Material wise, I was gonna say this stuff. I can't tell if it's a mask or if it's vertex painted. I would err on the side of masks because you're gonna get more information for what you're putting on here. And people always ask me, why do you use a mask when you can use just vertex color? So vertices, right? That's where you're putting your color information. If you're in an open world scenario or it gets really far away, you have a camera pan back or pan in, you're going to see the elements kind of change in the way that like the colors are placed, right? It's going to look like it's like it's losing information as the vertices kind of drop off of the mesh. Yeah, vertex painted. Okay. So when you look at vertex painting, you have to have higher resolution, right? So for every, like there's at least a point here, maybe maybe it's like that just to get that happening. But if you think about it like this, so let's say even just a measly 256 texture for your mask. If we zoom in, oh God, am I blind? Am I blind now? Are we all blind? There's a grid, right? And I'm not going to zoom in to like turn the grid on or anything. But think about these pixels, and each corner of a pixel is the equivalent to a vertex when you're using vertex color versus... So if you wanted to get this same look, you're going to need to subdivide your geometry to get this many edges, 256 edges, when you can just put it in here and use that in your shader however you would like. I try and always think of different ways to explain stuff just to like push that detail. You can also use trim sheets of this type of information. Use that same info on a mask trim sheet and then map that up here. You can get that going along this side here. And then you have same thing, and then you have the control in the shader to lower the strength of it, or like push back the how far it's dripping down, and apply colors through shader. There's so many things you can do that you don't really have access to. I mean, I guess technically you could do that with Vertex Paint. It's just, I like textures. It gives you more authoring ability to just be an artist. It does cost another texture call though, you know. You are rendering another texture. I've been considering masks because of how little info I get with vertex color. How many masks specifically do you think I could get away with for a whole floor? For a floor, you could pack the masks, which means you would have 3. If you use the alpha channel, you could get 4 in there. If it's for the entire floor, you could probably go up to a 1024, maybe a 2K mask, just because of portfolio. If it wasn't portfolio, I would say the mask for a floor, you probably shouldn't put a mask on the floor. You should chop the floor up into parts that you can reuse and reorientate in different ways. And for floor pieces like that, that's when I think it might be better to do Vertex Paint. Or decals, floating decals on top, right? But yes, we've gone ham on this one, so I'm gonna jump to the next one. Okay, I can't see your name because I think it's because I'm in streamer mode. So it just says Z. I don't know who you are, Z. Who are you? But you say, hello, here's a portfolio project that I'm currently working on. Everything is mostly still in blockout stages other than the wall tiles and the bike. The small bins and the chairs are Quixel assets, totally fine, that I will replace with my own later on. You don't necessarily have to replace them. Just, make sure it's clear that you used those assets. It's totally fine to use them. I'm planning on making a lot more use out of the cables and wires. What I have now was just some testing since it's my first time working with splines. Right. Dude, splines are awesome. I'm wondering if you have any suggestions about what other props I could add. So I will never know what props to add. Oh, right off the bat, these chairs look really small. Like I've seen grading like this before, so I'm going to assume that these chairs are like half the size they should be. So paying attention to scale is something to keep in mind. So when you're thinking about props, like, oh, what do I put in here props-wise? Solik, yo. Zokti on Discord. Nice. Hello. Thank you for posting. So what I would say, so first we've got scale stuff, right? But heavy reference gathering of a location you're trying to replicate. Like this kind of looks like a parking garage. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? Yeah, streamer mode. I don't know about that. So, yeah, let's say it's a parking garage. You get so much reference that you should know what to prop in here. Is this critique stream weekly? No, it is not. It's every 3 weeks, basically. There's actually, if you go to EmpireCMD.com. You should see there's a link somewhere in the top bar, not the very top bar, but you know, actually I'll click it. I'll click it. Here we go. So I'm still working on it. Where is it at? But Empire Stream and Events, you should be able to click on this and it should be able to tell you what's going on. So you can see whenever there's a stream critique. So next Thursday will be focus stream. And then the week after that, these 4 portfolios. It'll be pretty useful. You can see Chris Radsby's stream in here as well. They got the focus stream on Sundays. Hope that helps. But yeah, reference gathering. That's going to get you everything you need. You will know how to prop a scene when you know what you're building, which sounds weird, right? It's like, how would I know what I'm building? Well, it's like, well, what are you referencing off of? It all starts with references. Why are my tabs to the side like that? Because I like it. Because I can do this. I can group things. Otherwise, references everything. You never seen that. It's pretty useful. I like it. I would say think about, before you go ham on props, think about the space, get all the references you need, and think about how the space is used. Like, where are the paint lines? Is there any types of like infrastructural details that you're missing right now? I assume it's paint. Signage, like no parking here. Is this handicap parking? Where's the elevators? Do they go up and down? Where are the buttons to the elevator? Like all that stuff, get that in there. That'll help a ton. And I accidentally grouped all of your... See, I can just do this. Look at that. And then I can... Oh, yeah. Look, it thinks it's photography. Do you see this? Nice. But yeah, some stuff to keep in mind. Also think about what's on the wall. Where's the advertising go? If you need to come up with advertising brands and like all that's like that can take a bit, but it's definitely worth. Funky, how you doing? Hello. Okay, I'm going to take this. Oh, flashbang. I'm going to drag it somewhere. And then I'm going to open a link because I can't see the post. Nitin. Oh, nice. Okay, let's go. See, I can just grab all of these and just boop. Melt your eyeballs. Finish this piece some time back. Would love to know what you think. Okay. I think I remember seeing this. This is you? Funky, let's see what your question is. I'm super happy to answer your question. This is you, Hawks. Dude, nice. So I remember all these materials. This metal looks pretty good now. I still am not sure about this, but I think the presentation for how you're showing it here is really nice. The materials, that's where you need the most work. That's like where you can really like glow up. And it's just understanding where, like, what materials we're looking at. Like the floor looks really good, right? Is that a Megascan or is that yours? I don't think you need to post every blade. Maybe one of the like standard painted ones, so we can understand how you're texturing, how you think. Yeah, I remember your work in progress. Wireframe wise, I mean, this looks pretty good. Could probably be a little bit higher. Maybe it's all right though. Might be okay. There's a bevel in here that I don't think you need. But this is super high. But then again, first person, you know. The floor is Quixel? Okay, just make sure to put that in here. It'll be really important, I think, in the future. Because someone might go, oh, wow, they made that floor. Or they're not you know. But really understanding your materials. Like, you've got a normal map that's really textured on here. And I bet this would look more natural if that's like half the strength. Oh, it's not a mess up, man. It's just, you know, we learn as we go. There's always something to learn. And like looking at how the surface texturally feels and the way it's reacting to lighting, it doesn't feel like what I'm imagining it to feel like. It doesn't look the way that I would expect it to look. So those are, and that'll touch everything that you make, especially when PBR is involved. I wonder how CS:GO peeps feel about this being an Unreal. Either way, it came out really nicely. I would love to see your UVs because you're showing us wireframes. I would love to see UVs of the briefcase as well as the knife itself, the butterfly knife. The vibes are off. They're just, the vibes just need tweakage of the vibes. Looks cool though, and I love the you're staying true to Counter-Strike with this color variation madness. All right, Matthew, we had a portfolio review recently. Let's take a look here. Tweakage of the Vibes sounds like a band. Sounds like my next album. Just gonna take this in for a little bit. Right now, the materials are very similar in roughness, and there's some highlighting that's happening. It's very stylized. So maybe you're going for stylized. Maybe. So the dark scene, that's pretty dark. So you were saying I would like some. Are you meaning to say comments? Comments on the texturing at the moment. Still very work in progress. Getting the colors and roughness. Any ideas are welcome. So when you're initially putting texture material, like doing your material pass, you're going in to get the textures done, right? That first pass. My favorite thing right now is this area, and it's because there's roughness variation, there's material separation, and I can kind of understand what the material is. Whereas like here, it feels almost dusty because of the edge highlights. That could be a style you're going for, and that's totally fine. It just needs to be refined a little bit more. The resolution in here might be. I'm curious what your bakes are. Are you reusing legs, or are you UVing every single leg uniquely? This is too dark. Maybe. I think when you look at the reference of the direction that Matthew's wanting to go, it's definitely too dark. Legs are copies. All right. Legs are copies. I'm trying to think of like. So what you can do, this is a really nice thing. So it's great that you're doing a lot of copying. Just to show the glow. You can get the glow without it being that dark still, I think. Remember, do that top-down lighting we were talking about. So when you look at this, the resolution feels like it might be a little low here. I don't know, maybe like how high res is the leg itself? Because I think it's good that you're reusing, which should allow you to turn this up a little bit, unless it's really high already, and then I'm like, wait, what? It might be a combination of a few things if that's the case. These details also about 4K. Okay, that's pretty high. But then again, it's quite large, right? So there are some details that are large enough, like these, where I feel like those should probably be modeled outward. You're going to get much more silhouette bang for your buck. And maybe it is modeled and we're just not seeing it at this angle. Looks like it might be. And I'll get to your message here in a second, Funky. The fun thing about all this UV reuse that you're doing is you're increasing your resolution that much more every time you reuse the UVs, right? Now, after that, you can do another UV set and pack everything into that UV set, and then you can get really unique variations in the roughness or like the dirt and mud through masks. Like it's super powerful. You can put your ambient occlusion in there as well so that you get this nice unique AO bake that kind of connects everything together. It's good, man. It's good. Um, but yeah, I can't right now. I can't tell what your materials are. There's a hard edge here, which maybe is a baking issue or a lighting angle thing. If there's a UV seam there, I would recommend hiding that UV seam somewhere else and softening that edge because like wherever you have a UV seam, you should make a hard edge. Oh, no worries, Funky. You're all good. We'll get there. We'll get there. Um, but yeah, the reason I like the barrels of the guns is because it's very clear that this is a different material from this, right? And you've got some nice like paint chipping going on here, and it's exposing another type of material. So there's all that variation that's happening. I would suggest getting detail normals on here as well while you're kind of blocking everything out. Just get that tiled up so that you can start to explain those surfaces even more and faster. It just comes faster when you push those types of details. Otherwise, I mean, it's looking good. I would be curious to see some roughness maps and your metalness map just to see where you're pushing your information. But really cool. Really, really cool. Oh, right. Let me get to that question. Funky. So you're doing 3D ArcViz interiors as a hobby, not even creating a portfolio. Do you think it's a bad thing if I use already made ArcViz assets and just create simple stuff like lamps, uh, nightstand things like that, or just decorating as a designer, something like this? No, that's not weird. It really like what do you want to do? What are you after? If you're doing this as a hobby, it doesn't matter, right? If you're going to build your own portfolio, eventually you want to be able to say I was able to build all of this or I was able to build these things. You can still share and use things that other people have built. Make sure to credit if possible. Holy cow, Faltera, Brosidon, fabric hurts me and polish is hard. You are moving 1,000 miles an hour here. I feel very stuck nowadays because being self-taught is hitting its ceiling and spending thousands on teaching while unemployed isn't a good idea. What? Spending thousands on teaching while unemployed isn't a good idea. Oh, man. Well, the first thing that sticks out to me other than we'll talk about the cloth sim stuff later. This archway is greener than the rest of the environment, and I'm not sure why. Well, I mean, I know why. It's because there's more green in it, right? But like logic-wise, if we do this here. You're depressed now? No, don't be depressed. Don't be depressed. You know how much growth you've made in like the last year? It's crazy. Do you want me to pull up the ref? I mean, you can pull up the ref if you'd like. But like what you want to do is kind of unify everything. So right now we have a lot of like if you look at edges of things, right? You get a lot of wobbliness in trying to do these organic things, and you see it in here as well. It doesn't have to be so wobbly to get that look. The stucco, I feel like would benefit maybe from like if the edges around the outside in these, in this range, from where it stops to this core, had a little bit of the normal information from the wall. That way you see the thickness of the stucco changing as it starts to chip away. That would go a long ways. That would really push the quality here. It might be worth making this color similar to this color, just trying to unify things, right? Let's see what else we got here. I see your right. See in this one, it looks more blue to me. It's interesting. Yeah, I like the bluer version, but everything else has made improvements. I'm liking where everything is going. One thing that's a little odd is the size of these stones versus the these stones. Just gonna try and take everything in. I wouldn't. Don't listen to me too much right now because I'm liking where this is all heading. All right, we got a concept now too. Let me. So I just posted the one before the change of the arch. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, let's go in here. I closed the critiques, sadly, because I'm trying to limit the time I'm streaming today. But I think it has a whole lot more to do with lighting than anything. Oh, Funky, just out of glance, I saw what you're working on. That looks really good. Um, hmm. I would I would tone down the thickness of all of this just to give it the weight that you would expect because it looks really heavy right now, and I think if you thin those pieces of wood out a bit, like it looks like maybe about half the thickness, it's going to read a lot better and not like be so prominent to the photo or to your render. But like it's really about that separation, isn't it? Like, oh, I can't do this. Are you kidding me? Let's just do this. Is this gonna work? No. No, it's not. Nice. I'll take it. Oh my god. Is it getting better at this? That's kind of madness. Not gonna lie. Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna highlight all this stuff here and just like use it as an example of how much your lighting will affect this because I think you should actually work on your lighting now. Kind of working, kind of not. Anyways, let's grab that and let's just paint here really fast. So I'm just gonna go with like this color here. Just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do that. Maybe you do a multiply. Multiply is pretty heavy-handed, so maybe we tone it down. But you can see how much more. Like this is already popping out the rest of the scene. Let me just like mid-tones, pushing the front of this building forward. Of course, I'm saturating the hell out of it, and this shouldn't be getting any of that. You're just moving those elements around. I I need to move on to the next piece, Faltera, but I would love to chat with you about this. Do you see how there's not really any lighting here? By putting lighting there, you're drawing attention to it. Just gonna see if I can. Cool, thanks, bro. Nice. All right, I'll take it. I'm gonna have to go in here and grab all of this. It's not even gonna let me. All right, cool. But yeah, darkening that do a lot for you. Just doing that, for example, and then you just kind of bring the light back a little bit. Of course, you have that light edge on there, so it's yeah. So yeah, Valter, I wanna chat with you outside of this, because I'm rejections for job offers suck, but they are very many in this industry, and we have to get used to it and use it to power ourselves. So no time constraints. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna move to the next one, but Faltera, message me. I think we should have a discussion. Maybe we can have a big discussion with a bunch of people on job rejection, because I think that would be really interesting. Okay. What I will say, though, the progress on this is crazy. I think you should focus on your lighting. Get the lighting balance. Look at the weight of the wood here, and get that, level that all out. And we can come back to the cloth stuff. Where are we at? Okay, this one, Cadian. Oh, bro, your feedback from last time was super helpful, so thanks again. This time, I really appreciate some feedback on my presentation of the project. Probably jumped the gun a bit because I was excited with how it turned out, but I should have gotten feedback on the presentation before I posted. It's totally fine. There's always the next piece, The hardest part usually is posting, so it's cool that you got excited. And, yeah. So, presentation-wise, you've got a breakdown of all your pieces. You've got your render. That's cool with the angle here. It feels like this area you weren't done with yet. Or maybe it's because of the angle. Like in this angle, you're good. But then you rotate and it's like, oh, you didn't work on much of the side because the focus was this view, right? So maybe you don't even need this shot. You might not need this shot either because this also breaks a lot of the illusion of what's going on here. I would literally focus on this and this, have the concept in here. This is really good as well. The breakdown shows your wireframes, shows how you've UV'd things and textured them, and show us your texture maps, like PBR values. Like even if it's painted, what does it look like? I'm very happy with the spine here though. Looks good. Ice turned out really nice as well. And the trees look really good too. Very good job. Maybe like lowering the clouds a little bit so they never really hit the, let me see they see a lot of the clouds are down here, and then there's like this gradient that happens in the sky. So maybe clouds kind of ending around here, and then it's just a gradient would be good. This looks great though. It looks like I think maybe the concept could be closer to it. Oh, this is great. You link the artist in here as well. Yeah, I think if the concept was right under it, that would be nice. And then, and then we see the breakdown here, maybe with the textures on it. And then, like this. Actually, I would do this image, concept, and then this shot could be this shot. Then you do your props breakdown with textures and wireframes, and then show some of your texture maps. Is this the movie Up? It's got nice vibes, man. Got nice vibes. Overall presentation is good though. All right, Rex. Some time ago, I started making an ancient temple. Dude, welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the club. I'm gonna click on all these. We've seen your dope pillar. Some time ago, I started making an ancient temple. I put it on Discord critiques for the first pillar made using the new techniques I've learned, like layer mask and using ZBrush. I've been working quite some time, but this is where I'm at. All of it is going inside a cave, but I haven't decided yet how to approach it. Any tips on structure to structure it itself or the cave that doesn't exist are welcome. By the way, I passed the exam and got accepted to a master's degree. Yes! Congratulations. Tobias, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, let's jump in here. So, of course, you're watching my stream and you're like, yo, this guy's making a giant freaking scene. Why is he about to tell me that I shouldn't do that? It's because it's a bad idea. I've been working on that scene for a year, over a year. The only reason it's fun to me is because I'm learning a bunch of stuff and trying new things. And we're doing a lot of walkthroughs for you guys, right? I'm like, oh, what about this? How do we try that? Let's do this thing. If you're trying to build this for a portfolio, scale it down immensely, block out your cave with a few rock like primitives, and just get your framing and composition all figured out, and then you will know how many things you need to build. You turned it down a lot, believe me. Yeah, scale it down like immensely. Let's make the next World of Warcraft killer, but portfolio only. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad idea. It's difficult to complete, right? Like, how do you complete this? So what I would do is get references, find the cave shapes that you like in your references, block those out with some meshes themselves. Practice at ZBrush, making some rock shapes, reuse it in orientation, get some feedback on that, build that frame, prop it with all of the stuff you've made so far. And from there, yeah, see, this is really detailed. From there, you could just like focus on what's needed, right? So for me, this is too early. Don't worry about this yet. You don't know what your scene is yet. So do your scene first. This to me will turn into a lot of information. So I would either tone that down or make sure that the surface is not very contrasty and it's the ambient occlusion and or the light angle that's really popping the information out. Like this, for example, again, don't do this yet. I'd block out a kit that you can use to create all of your floors while you're building your space out. Then you're like, okay, I need 3-4 floor pieces and that's it. Then you build those 3 and then they'll update across the floor and you're good to go. But generally speaking, this looks really good. And the pillar is much easier to read now. It's pretty nice, man. It's pretty nice. I don't have too much to say on it right yet, other than the feedback I just gave you of like, don't go crazy. Scale it down, build your shots, get the angles you want, block it all out. Block it out with the pieces that you will update. It's all rock and gold like El Dorado. So take all of their references of El Dorado and look at how much gold is actually there or where it's placed, how big it is, you know, that balance of high detail versus smooth surfaces. That'll do a lot. Gorney posting an under. You know, the first thing I ever modeled outside of a solar system, because I only knew how to drag out primitives, was a spider mech. I think I built it when I was like, how old was I? 12 years old? 10? 3ds Max off a CD that I had to boot up through DOS on Windows 3.1 or something like that. Look at those feet, though. Those are some feet. You get some good traction there. Make it curl like a dead spider. So, Dude, look at that spiderweb placement. Bro. Yo, this has blown up quality-wise since the last image you sent me. Holy cow, dude. Someone needs to hire this person ASAP. This looks freaking great, man. Look at this. Look at this subtle like curve here. All that is a cut here, right? And then you just pull the verts up a little bit. Yeah, the windows look really good too. There's writing on it. Man. The wood value is much better now. This looks really good, dude. And nice job toning back the kind of like little debris on the ground to certain areas. It helps like keep it grounded. Dude, look at the... That's super nice, man. I'm wondering if... Okay, I can see there's a little bit of dirt buildup. I would play with the value difference of that dirt. Just to see if the scene looks better if it's a little bit brighter than the floor. And if it's a little bit better if it's a little bit darker than the floor. Just as like an experiment. This looks really nice, man. I am missing out a little bit on like details here. Dude, look at this. Look at this spot. Do you have any areas you can do close-ups of similar to this? Like this is there detail normals on that? You better get some detail normals on there. Dude. Fire, man. I'm sharing this at work tomorrow. This looks great. I don't have much else to say, I don't think. Man, that window is... Yeah, man. You got the little caked detail in there. So good. Okay. We've got 1, 2, 3 more. And then I will get out of here. Isaiah moved on from this project a couple of months ago. Wanted to revisit to finish it off with fresh eyes. Some examples of the sculpts. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Look at this scene. Okay. Okay. And get some sculpts in there. Nice. Oh, interesting. Wait, where's that going? Is that for the root? What is that? Is it for this? Man, that's cool. Got some cool lily pads in there too. Okay, so I think for what you're doing with your rocks, this type of sculpting will work. But a lot of the times you're going to want to think about what type of rock it is and how it layers. But this looks really cool. Some of the geometry is quite simple. Like these are working okay right now, but I think like this part here is very simple. Like it could use some extra geometry, some beveling, some like just the way it's modeled to really push the surfaces. And be careful with like how your textures stretch. The roots or the vines that are kind of going around the roots feel a little loose. Like I think they're meant to be looking like they're hanging. Keep an eye on that. These roots as well, they're very tentacle like. They're very evenly like thick and they taper off equally as they go. Grab some areas and really like thin them out and then make some other areas a little bit thicker just to give you some organic like natural root action. These leaves up here, I didn't really notice them too much, but now that I'm zooming in, I would cut the amount of leaves in that texture in half, just so there's more alpha, and then use a lot more cards to just kind of, that'll give you the density you want without it looking like a card. The rocks are cool. The feedback I was saying here, I'll draw it like this real quick. So right now you've got languages going like this, right? It's kind of everywhere. Which can work if you need a modular a modular rock to like use in a bunch of different ways. Think about it like this. Take these lines and just draw them, through. Connect all of those, you'll get a much more natural looking rock. If you need to, it can come to a point. So like you can think about it like this. And then all of your rock shapes can kind of like follow that striation layering, and that'll give you a whole lot of like continuity or like familiar shape language between all of your rock pieces. So as you prop, you can prop them in a way where that language kind of runs across the scene. Good soup. I see that, Felterra. And I'm not sure what this is, but it's quite interesting. I guess it's the roots. This is cool too. Very consistent. And then there was the post as well you linked. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like how you did the water. That's cool. Some depth of field is always nice. You can see in the initial block out, like that, that's quite strong. And it's just about separating the building out from the wall. It's when we start to texture that it becomes very difficult to keep the visibility of what you're building in line. See right here, that helps with the lighting. You get the undershadows here, and it really helps separate everything out. It's a nice job. Okay, let me check this one. Nice. Okay, coming in hot. Last one. There's one more after this. Piranha. It's nice attention to detail. These scratches, every time I see these, I feel like, is that Substance Painter scratching slider? Like it just feels, it usually feels like there's too many of them. Warning, sharp blade. So this looks good. This part right here feels really nice. But I need, oh, nice wireframes. Very good, very good. What I need is, oh, this looks good too. Okay, so the way this is rendering and the way that this is rendering are two very different things. So I think your lighting setup is affecting the way that this looks. Because a lighting setup for this looks pretty nice. And when we look at the material reference here, the contrast of this to yours is very bright and busy. I think if yours was more subtle and subdued, like we see here in this reference, and then the blade that comes out is really clean, or we go with like a colored painted version, or the paint has chipped away and then you start to see the Stanley metal under it, that I think would really push it above what it is right now. Like even this one is actually really interesting with a rusted blade in there. It's cool. Look at all the character that's going on in there. It's really nice. And I think that's, so for your stuff, it's really about pushing those materials to help us understand what type of surfaces they are and bringing a lot of that kind of character in the surface itself. This seam might be too small for 3D. I would probably double the size of that and just overemphasize it, just so that it gets the chunkiness to be visible. But nice job. And the only other thing I would request to see in here is a texture flat so I can see how you UV. There's like a bevel there that's really small. I probably don't need that. But nice job otherwise. Cool. All right, last one. Here we go. Hey, Jared, about to finish this scene. Perhaps make a moss based off your Shadow Colossus scene and perhaps work with the colors. Man, this looks great. This looks really nice now. This has come a long ways. Nice and soft in the foliage. I wonder. Let's see here. I'm just gonna like dupe this really fast. And Smadu playing. Smadu having a good time. So if I party time out there. If I turn this up, you can see there's information in there, but it's really dark. I would try to not let it go too dark. Do we have my little hack here? Where is it at? Empire levels. Nice. Okay. So if the pixels are black, my personal view has been that the pixels are too dark. Right? So by taking this and leveling it up, right? We're trying to fix that. If the pixels are blue, they're too bright. So you can see basically what I've done is I've mapped this gradient, and if it becomes like full blue or full black, it's too dark or too bright. So I'm remapping your value range. So it would be good to get that pushed up a bit. And you can see as well as like the brightness it's almost there. Let's see here. Because you want to turn it up that way. I kind of want to see your albedo only because everything should be in direct light, should be getting hit pretty hard. Yeah, I guess it's here. Yeah, it's happening. So you can see where direct light is hitting, right? And just being able to see inside of here, you're gonna get so much more out of your work that way. So like for example, let's just grab this. See, it's even having a hard time grabbing the. So if we grab that and let's boost it up, which looks crazy, and then we'll just kind of. Maybe we lower the saturation as well because we blasted it so high. But just being able to see in there does a whole lot. I would definitely push that just a little bit more because there's more space in here to go dark. And it doesn't need to be full dark, but they're playing out there. I hear it. But see how much there's going to be so much more information going on if you do that. Is this action available somewhere? It looks super useful. Yes, it's on my Patreon. Or you can see how I made it. It's a gradient map with that and then a mask. And I mapped those colors. But yeah, it's really useful. The pillar tops are still block out. Oh, nice. Didn't even notice, man. Don't tell anyone. But see, you almost, maybe not highlights, but you almost want to just get some more volume out of that tree. But overall, it's feeling really nice. Much stronger than where it was before. Wasn't bad last time, but this is reading really nicely. Let's but yeah, it's the thing you're talking about, Sleepy. It actually is. It's in the Patreon. I think it's in the $5 group. What was I gonna do? I was gonna play with the color a little bit and then get out of here. So if you turn this up, right? We turn the saturation up. Let's double click this, dupe it, and then let's go to the filter, neural filters. No, not neural filters. Come on, bro. I don't care about your complexion. Let's get out of here. We want the camera raw filter. We want to play with the temperature of the scene real fast. Because you can get some really cool results that way. Come on, Photoshop, I believe in you. Because I think your scene is too warm. But it could be too warm in the shadows, right? So let's just like... Let's do that. And wherever the light's hitting, you know, we keep the warmth. And then we could take this and tone down the whole thing so we bring a little bit of the warmth back. But you can see the difference. It's almost like everything is yellow. And then you brought some of the color back. And now I'm noticing the flowers, which I didn't even notice before. That does a lot. It does a lot. But cool. Funky, I see your post. It looks good. This looks nice. It's cozy. I'd live there. It might be a little too tidy for me. But I'd go. I'd visit. I'd take a nap there. Yeah, I want to jump on that bed too. It looks really like you'd hit it and just, and like sink for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Whew. All right. Energy is fading, my friends. It's time. It is time for me to wander off to my couch. With a pile of laundry on the floor? Perfect. Just piling up here because I just take it all off there and then just bleh. And then I get up, go take a shower, come back home, pile up there, bleh. Is that how it works? This is ArcViz, indeed. What do you think you have to change to make it look more realistic? Make it look lived in. Put some clothes on something. Hang a hoodie over this thing or something. Lighting wise, it might be too bright, overly too bright. Like turn these off and just let the ambient light come in. Maybe a little side light, like a side table light. Because then you'd have like natural lighting coming in, which is kind of cool in value, and then like a nice little warm light here, and you've got these nice gradients going along the wall. Do that. Do that. Yeah, get us some outlets with a plug. That's perfect. Okay. I said I would cut it off, but I still got to you, Funky. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. It's been a pleasure. There's the Discord if you're new here. Please join us. It's fun. I promise. There should be a survey coming out soon. We're going to be looking at feedback from you guys. Would love if you guys would fill out that survey. Because then we can figure out, what do we do to make the server even better? How do we make it more for you? But cool. Thank you again, everyone. And I'll see you in the Discord or on Sunday. I'm like, yes, Sunday. All right, guys. See you later. And hello to all the new people.